Major varieties of the English language includes American English, British English, Australian English, New Zealand English, Black English, Singapore English, and lastly, Philippine English. First, let me tell you what is variety. According to Merriam-Webster, it is the quality or states of having different forms or types. Now, do you think English has different types of forms? Consider this. English is our global language. In 2021, stated that 1.35 billion people spoke English either natively or as second language. It is no surprise that different varieties in English have arisen. So yes, English has different types and forms. The oldest variety of English is English British, spoken in the United Kingdom. Approximately 60 million people are native British English speaker, while the variety of English in American English have the largest speaker in English with 25 million native speakers. They all share the same basic rules of the language, but certain words or phrases for a constant may differ. For example, in British English, one may say, "I'm going to hospital," while in American English, one may say, "I'm going to the hospital." Another example is in British English, one may say, "He's going to the cinema," and in American English, one might say, "I'm going to the movies." As you can see, they use different terms but it is still the same. It meant the same thing. So now let's move forward to Australian English. Australian English is a distinct dialect of English developed from British English, and it is influenced by British English, particularly in spelling and grammar. For now, we have the English language in New Zealand English. It's the dialect of New Zealand, also influenced by British English, but with distinct features, while Black English is a distinct variety of English spoken by American Americans. It possesses its own regular and systematic grammatical. Now, we have the Singapore English. Local variety of English is spoken in Singapore. English, spoken in two main forms: Singaporean Standard English, which is indistinguishable grammatically from British English, Singaporean Colloquial English, which is also known as Singlish. And now let's move forward to the Philippine English. The Philippine uses a variety of English known as PHE, which is distinct from American or British English. It is characterized and influenced from American English due to colonization. The following examples will be discussed by Miss Ira Fain.
Today, let's learn about the varieties in English vocabulary. This part talks about how the three types of English used in different words: American English, British English, and Australian English. The main difference is in the vocabulary that they use. Lexical variety means the different words of people use in each type of English. Like for example, the same thing might have three different words in three varieties but same meaning. Besides the American English and British English, there are other countries that they have their own special words or vocabulary unique, like the New Zealand English, Black English, Singapore English, and our country, Philippine English. American English and British English have different spelling for some words. When we are writing, we use one style. Like for example, if we use the style of American, we should use the American English words and spelling. And if it's about the British, then use the British English words and spelling. So in that, it helps keep things clear and easy to understand.
Mabuhay! So for today, we will going to talk about the forms of language register. So first, what is forms of language register? So it is the style and the level of your writing, and it should be appropriate in the situation. So we have the three most common language register, which is the formal register, informal language register, and the neutral register. So first we have the formal, which is this is the most appropriate when it comes to professional and business writing, like business letters, announcement, essay, and also we have rules in formal writing. So second, we have the informal language. This is informal writing, and this is more likely the way we talk to our friends and to our family. So the examples of informal language are the informal written like phone text, journal, blogs, etc. And lastly, we have the neutral register, wherein this is not specifically formal or informal language. So the examples are the articles, review, and some letters. Bias-free language, so basically we just have to be sensitive when we're talking or when we're writing, and also we have to be bias-free. Avoiding gender bias, so this should be avoided, and the thing that we can do is we can use gender-free words like person or representative, so we can avoid the gender bias language. Next is avoiding racial and ethnic bias. So basically this is not acceptable, so we have to use our words carefully, and we have to be very mindful when it comes to ethnic. Next is avoiding age bias. So basically we just have to avoid the expressions that can offend the person based on their age. So next is the avoiding disability bias. So again, this is unacceptable, so we can use some terms so we cannot offend them.
Jargons are special words or terminologies used by certain groups or professionals in specific field. So jargons are terminal terms, often carry meanings that are only fully understood by those who are familiar with a particular field. So jargons can be acronyms, abbreviations, technical terms, or special expressions used by a certain group or professions. Jargon serves as a form of shorthand that allows members or groups to communicate quickly and precisely. Jargons is important because it allows people in the same field to communicate faster, more precisely, and with a clearer shared understanding. It helps professionals save time, avoid misunderstandings, and express complex ideas in a simpler way. However, jargons can be misunderstood by people who are not familiar with it because the words are often too technical and complicated. This can make outsiders feel confused or left out since they may not understand the real meaning behind the terms. Achieving appropriate level of diction means of choosing the right word that fits in the situation, audience, and purpose. This means by choosing the right word that match the situation and purpose means making your message clearer and easier for the others to understand. It also helps to show respect to the person you are talking to since you are choosing the right word that fits in the role, age, or situation. So by using the right word that match in the person's role or age and so on shows respect because it means you are thinking about who they are and making sure your words are polite, appropriate, and comprehensible. There are 3 levels of diction. It includes number 1, unprofessional. This is commonly known as slang or overly casual words that are not appropriate in formal or workplace setting. In this level, it is when someone uses slang or casual word in situation where serious and respectful words are expected, like in school, at work, or informal conversation, which can make them sound disrespectful and unprofessional. Number 2. Conversational. This is the natural and everyday words that sounds friendly and easy to understand, like how people normally talk in daily life. In this level of diction, it makes communication feel more relaxed and personal, which helps the other to connect with you and understand your message more clearly. And lastly, formal. It is the use of precise and polite words that follows proper grammar and appropriate for academics and professionals. In this level of diction, it uses polite and precise words that follow correct grammar, and it is usually used in schools, workplace, or professional situations. It shows respect, seriousness, and professionalism, making it appropriate for academic writing, business communication, or when talking to someone that is in higher position. Using correct dictions in conversation makes your message clear and easy to understand, which reduces the chance of confusion and misinterpretation. So this is very important because when you use proper words, the person you are talking to can easily follow what you mean without getting confused. It also helps avoid misunderstanding and misinterpretation, making the conversation smoother and more effective. In this way, correct dictions makes communication more respectful and meaningful. Troublesome and expressions are words that can be tricky because they are often misused and have more than one meaning. This can confuse the readers or listeners since they have the words that have the same as the other words, or it might be used in the wrong way. Because of this, it is important to choose the right word carefully so that the message is clear and does not cause misunderstanding.